Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all well. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen recently that I got my beloved Marshall JVM 410 head fixed. It's been out of action for a couple of years now. For no other reason than the tubes went, and then I think it was an HT fuse and something to do with the output transformer. Because it was my first amplifier that I ever got, my first tube amp that I ever bought back in 2007. And I've played so many gigs with it and tours and stuff with Dorje and Tosca and Chasing Jade, my first band. It was that thing where like you buy a valve amp and then you realize just how good they are, and you know, the rest is history. I just absolutely fell in love with the tone of the JVM, really identified my own sort of playing sound and style with that. Being a fan of Nuno, it had an articulation about it that really helped me do that kind of playing as well. So I feel very comfortable with that kind of sound. And so I was really excited to get this amplifier fixed. So I thought it'd be cool to film a video based on my Marshall JVM, because it's back in the amp rack. And I wanted to sort of look at the channels that I most used and then look at the amplifier as a whole, as if I was sort of demoing it as a new product to see if it still stands up today, as I'm sure it would. But on top of that, I also was just curious if I like it as much as I used to. Because for me, my favorite channels on this amplifier were the Crunch and OD1. I didn't use the Clean or OD2 at all throughout the sort of 6, 7, maybe 8 years that I've been playing this amplifier heavily, just because I found that it had too many options and most of them just felt a little bit like filler, and there's only really a few good channels in this amplifier. Now, some of you will agree with that and some of you won't. I know there's plenty of people that think all the channels sound great on this amplifier, but to tell you the truth, it's been so long, I just don't remember. So I thought I'd plug it in, got it running into the SIR reactive IR load box, and then I'm running an instance of Archetype Nolly. I've got the one of their cabs going on there, and it just sounds really good. I'm going to try a bunch of different guitars. We'll go through this amplifier and actually see how good does it sound compared to the other stuff in my rack. So a little bit about the Marshall JVM. Basically, I think this amplifier was launched in 2006, 2007. I bought it when it had just come out, and it was meant to be the new flagship from Marshall. It would be the most versatile amplifier. It would have everything that a modern guitar player would need. It has MIDI switching. It has 4 channels with 3 gain stages each. That's 12 different types of tone within the amplifier. Has 2 masters. Has reverb for every channel. Presence and resonance. Effects loop with its own level, send level on the back. Basically, it's all the bells and whistles that Marshall could put into the amplifier at the time. It also has an emulated line out, and it's got this really cool foot switch that I really did enjoy back in the day that you could program, but we're not going to use any of that stuff. I just want to hear the core tones of the amp. Okay, so let's get stuck in. We're going to start on the Clean channel, and basically I'm using this JP15. I've got a couple of other guitars. Any reverb and delay you're hearing is coming from Archetype Nolly. So, okay, here's the Clean channel. I'm surprised. I don't remember the Clean being that good at all. It's got a really nice chime to it. Let's try with the piezo just for the sake of it. Well, colour me surprised, slightly corrected and impressed. I've had this amp longer than any other amp that I own, and yet I had no idea that the Clean sounded that good. Wow. Yeah, I like it. It's chimey. I just, from what I remember, it was never really that inspiring, but I like that. Sounds good. Now, as some of you may remember, each channel has its own 3 gain stages. So you just press the channel button and it will go green, amber, and red. With the clean channel, the gain works on the green, but then when you move to amber and red, it has an actual dedicated volume because you're adding gain stage to this. So let me duck off the gain. I've turned it over to the red, and let's have a listen. So this is clean channel orange stage. I don't know if there's just an ingrained thing that I just like, I can really play this amplifier or something, but I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought. Anyway, the clean channel, that is. So that was the amber stage. This is the red stage. So this is still the clean channel, just to bear that in mind. I do not remember it sounding this good. I'm really impressed. That's the gain at halfway. Let's turn the gain up. I mean, a clean channel probably shouldn't have this much gain, but still. Let's just try it with the telly really quickly. It's almost got like plexi vibes about it, but it's just not quite as like articulate maybe as a plexi. But that's pretty cool. Like, I wonder what happens if you gun the middle and the treble like you would on a plexi. What do we get? Let's have a listen. Okay, the clean channel's really good. Like, I'm saying the clean channel is good based on the fact that every single time that I'd used it before live, I didn't like it. I never used it, ever. So I'm actually really impressed by that. Tons of gain, but who cares? Right, next up, crunch channel. So now, I used to love this channel. I used to use this pretty much all the time for like my push cleans. That's kind of where I got into push clean, was with this kind of channel. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's put a bit of reverb and delay back on. So that's the green stage, where I used to use it mainly. I didn't really use the green stage, I used the orange and the red, so I would normally have the crunch about halfway, and I found that for me, and again, I was using War Pigs, bare knuckle War Pigs at the time, but it was this would be the kind of... So for example, if I grab a drop C guitar and play some of the Tosca stuff. go red stage. A bit of reverb and delay. I'm a huge fan of that channel. Let's try with a different guitar. What a gross sound. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. Ever since I started playing guitar, when I searched in my dad's guitar case, the very first time I tried to pick up and play the guitar, there was a tin of this fast fret, as you can see. This stuff, honestly, I've used it ever since I started playing, much to my detriment in the fact that actually I've got such an OCD that if I don't have this before a gig, it sends me a bit loopy, like I have to have it. Fast fret wins. Let's gun the gain, boost the treble in the mid. Yes, I like that channel. It sounds great. It sounds really good. Okay, so we've had all gain stages for the clean and the crunch. There's a lot of gain. This is where we're at in terms of the world of gain. So obviously it's not ridiculous, but we're only on the crunch channel, so still 2 more channels to go. Anyway, let's move on to OD1. And we're going to start... See, I always have the settings at halfway, so I'm going to kind of just do that. Put the gain at halfway. I've boosted the treble a little bit. Just to let you know, presence and resonance are about halfway. Let's take off the effects loop. Right, this is OD1 Green stage. The gain at halfway. Let me just say this before I start getting going. This is my favorite channel on this amp. If this amp was just this channel, I would be happy, because for a high gain amp, like, it just has the orange stage on the OD1 it's the one. Okay, so here we go. This is OD1 Green stage, gain halfway. Right, gain at 3/4. this is my favorite channel. Everything around halfway, this was my favorite sound. So that's OD1 Orange stage. There's tons of gain, as you can hear. I mean, that's gain at halfway and it's already that saturated. Anyway, there's a lot of gain. So let's move on. Actually, before we do that, let me show you what I enjoyed most about this channel, because obviously it's great for gain, as you'd expect, but also it's great for fat riffs. So that's why I love this channel, because you have loads of gain for lead, but it's aggressive enough for the rhythm and the riffs, and you get all the note definition as well in your chord. Let's move on to the red stage. Completely random made up riff there with the random G string just thrown in for fun. But, I mean, listen to that, so much gain. And it purrs in that kind of djenty way that people seem to like. Yeah, it's a lot. These are the silos, just in case you wondered, from Bare Knuckle. But that's OD1. So we still got OD2. So let's move on. So, this is OD2, everything at 12 o'clock. Green stage. The idea with OD2 was meant to be that it had a mid boost compared to OD1, but I always found that it was just too intense. So this is quite held back, actually. See, for me, that sounds choked. Oh, it's okay. But what happens when we turn the gain up? Quite thick. orange stage, OD2. Let's just jump between orange stage OD1 and orange stage OD2. So this is OD1. And this is OD2. I just think OD1's just got more anger. Yeah. Anyway, OD2. It's a fun channel. I don't like it as much as OD1, but it's a fun channel. And now for the grand finale, OD2 Red stage. There's so much gain. That's so much gain. It's so much. I mean, like when I like to do my percussive thing, which I can't do. If I go to OD1, but on OD2 it's just too much. You don't quite get enough kind of definition from it, but bring it back to the JP, because obviously there's that much gain. It'd be rude not to try and shred with it. Okay, so I've worked up a massive sweat in this warm room in the middle of summer, as I always say, but for good reason, because I'll be honest, revisiting this amplifier was a real pleasure. I enjoyed filming this video a lot because I learned some new things. I learned that I like the clean channel on this thing way more than I thought I did, and just generally, I just forgot how much I enjoyed the sound of this amp and the feel. I really like the way it feels, but I think that's because I've played it for so many years. If you've never heard one and you're thinking about trying one, this video might sway you, particularly because it's more recent, because I feel like the way consumerism works is, you know, we bring out new products all the time and then you forget about the old ones and all the rest of it, and that seems to be how it goes. It's quite an old amplifier now, considering it came out in around 2007. And there's been so many amps come out since, of course, like the Kraken, you know, we had the re-release of the Soldana, Rev stuff, Massaad, like just the stuff in this room. There are so many other brands that have come out since the JVM was released. But honestly, It is sick. It is. I am so glad that I've still got this amplifier. I'm so glad I didn't sell it, because there are tones in there that I know I can't get from any of the other amplifiers in this room. I just can't. And maybe it's a feel thing, I don't know, but yeah, I really like it. I really like it. What don't I like? Let's be honest. I don't like the amount of gain that there is in the final channels. I just don't think there's any need to have that much gain. There's more gain in this amplifier than there is in the entire amp market at the moment. I think that it's probably overcomplicated. I don't think there needs to be quite as many features. You could have filtered out about 25-30% of the features in that amplifier, and it would still kick ass. And I know you can get the 205, and I know you can get the smaller versions, but I'm not talking about that. This, for me, is the best sounding one of all the JVM range. I've tried the combo, didn't like it. Tried the 205, didn't like it. Tried the 210, didn't like it. I think there's a 210. But anyway, this one is the one. And at first, I was like, Crunch and OD1 are the only channels worth using it for. But after this video, I think I'm going to delve a bit more deeply into the other channels, because the clean really surprised me. If you've got a JVM and you haven't had it plugged in for a while, then hopefully this has inspired you to do so. If you know a studio, or you've got a mate that's got one and you've heard this video and you're like, oh, you know what, I want to try a JVM, then do it, because I think you might enjoy it. It's like any kind of Marshall amp tone on steroids. It doesn't quite do the JCM 800 thing or a Plexi thing that well. It does its own thing, but what it does do, it sounds really good for doing it. And for modern heavy stuff, definitely one of my favorite go-to amplifiers for that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a quick trip down memory lane with this beast of an amplifier. We've tried it with a bunch of different guitars. I think it sounds sick. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Yeah, like, subscribe, and share. I'll link it in the description box. But until next time, I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.